Well, welcome everyone. I'm going to give you a moment as everybody is entering. It's such a pleasure to be with you here today. I'm just waiting a moment while you all get into the room. So this is our Coffee with Kendra around AI search and is your content ready? I am Kendra Lee, president and founder of KLA Group. We work with B2B companies between $1 million and $85 to $100 million in annual revenue. And today we are going to be talking about how you can get found by AI search, because you may have noticed that website traffic is down everywhere that you look. It's all part of AI. People are doing more of their searching in AI. Think about how much you are using it yourself today. And you don't have to click through to get the information anymore. It just delivers it right there to you. And it's kind of interesting. I was doing some research in preparation for today's Coffee with Kendra, and a recent Forbes article said that roughly 60% of AI searches now yield no clicks at all. So if you're noticing your website traffic is down, it's partly due to the fact that people don't need to go to websites to get the information. It's being delivered to them through all the different AI engines. So today what we're going to do is talk about, well, how can you be found by those AI engines? What do you have to change in your content? We're going to talk specifically about content today. And I have Donnell Wilcox with me. Donnell is a marketing manager and our social media specialist. She drives all the social media direction for our clients and for KLA. Donnell, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thanks, Kendra. It is a pleasure to be here, and what a great introduction. Thank you.
You are welcome. And one of the things to know about Donnell is in her work that she does with clients, she is also focused on how do they get found by SEO. So let me say right from the beginning that SEO doesn't go away. It is still important, but AEO has to be layered in with it. So everything that we're talking about today does not replace what you are doing for SEO. It's in addition to what you are doing. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, our goal is then that you're going to walk away today knowing what is AEO all about and what are specific changes that you need to make to how you are creating your content so that you can start to be found by AI engines. And one of the great things about AI is, unlike SEO, where it takes a lot of time to build, depending on what you are writing about and how people are asking, you can be found faster with AI. But the question is, are they going to know that it's coming from you? So that's all what we're going to talk about. Okay. And what I'd like to do is start immediately with a poll, and let's see how you today are searching. So tell me, when you are searching online, how do you usually phrase it? So is it single keywords like the CRM software? Is it short phrases? That's CRM for small business. Is it full questions? What's the best CRM for a company under 50 employees? Or you don't really think about it, you just do whatever. Tell me how you are doing your searches today. And if you think about it, Donnell, has the way that you search changed since AI?
Reviewing the slides, yes. I find myself kind of second nature typing full questions into Google now. And trying to give Google all of my ideas and little starter projects. Then I realized that that's not the right app. And I need to go use something else. I think if it's really something that is a quick thing, Aurora's turning 13, so
Uh-huh.
I'm birthday shopping. I'm going to type that into Google every time. If it's a product and I need it, this is what I need. That's going in. But solutions to problems, that's full sentences for me.
So like planning Aurora's birthday party and you want game ideas if you're doing games is not going into Google like it used to.
No, that would go into probably a party planning project.
Exactly.
And here we go.
And you put it in ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or whatever AI you're using. You might even go into Reddit and see if there's some type of stream out there about it.
Yep, absolutely.
And so everybody, that's how people's searching has changed. And if we look at our answers here, 35% say it's short phrases like best CRM for small business, and 50% say it's full questions. All of that has changed since AI. So let me show you what this says is we need to change the way that we are thinking about our search, and that's called answer engine optimization, where many of you, 50% of you said, what's the best CRM for a company under 50 employees? That's question-based. So we now need to be writing for the types of questions that people are asking. So it's about making your content easier for the AI tools to find you and cite your answers. All right. Now, let's talk about historically how search happened so you can see why this is so critical. Now, what I'm showing you here, and don't worry that you can't read all of it, but what it's showing you is on the left side what a search used to look like before AI. And you see in that orange section at the top, this is the paid results. We're used to, at the top of Google, it would show us these were the paid ads. And then you would show up organically. And the goal with SEO has always been, how do we get on the first page of search? We know that people aren't going to go past the first, maybe if you're lucky, the second page. Well, now you may have noticed as a result of AI, and Google has adopted it itself, we see more what's on the right side. And it's giving the AI overview before it shows the paid results and then the organic. And think about the last time you did a search, when did you look below the AI overview?
Well, I mean, even conversations in my house, I've got someone who absolutely hates AI and he used to be so upset about it and scroll past it. And now it's, well, according to AI overview, but we might want to check that. So, and that's within 6 months of this becoming, such a reality. People are adjusting and they're not scrolling any further, even the diehard people.
No. And here's something fun. So knowing we had our coffee with Kendra today, I as I was preparing, before we started it, I was in Excel, and we just, there's been the changes moving to Windows 11. Microsoft is consistently changing how your apps look, what they work, what they do. Well, I went into Excel this morning to create or to do some calculations, and I noticed all across the top are numbers instead of letters, and all down the side are the numbers as they're supposed to be. And I looked at that and I thought, this is not what I want to be looking at, because I can't ever reference a cell, because we're going to go 1, 1. What about 11? Are we talking about a row? Are we talking about a column? Very confusing. So of course, what did I do? I immediately went to Google and I said, how do I change Excel columns back to letters? This is my exact search, and look what popped up.
So first of all, the video is great. Pretty sure that's a thumbnail. I love that we can see exactly who it is. And I know it's a video. I know that it's less than a minute. It's not going to take forever and ever to learn how to fix this. So awesome.
This is exactly what we are talking about with AEO. So I did not go any further. I did look because I knew we had today, we were going to talk about AEO. I looked to see what the next entry was, and below this was Microsoft. So this is a great example of who would you expect to show up first? Microsoft. This is their application. But no, it was this person's video that showed up first. So you can be recognized by AI in spite of all the big guns that are out there. Okay.
I will say also answered a direct question with her 1-minute video, and it's a video. Is Microsoft's a video?
No, Microsoft was a list of steps. So we're going to talk about what do you need to do differently. I want to use this as an example to point out a few things to you. First of all, it very specifically answered my question. This is exactly what I asked. And it showed in the video in one spot, this is exactly where you do it. And so that you would know that it came from Min, it actually has her on the side here. So instant credibility for her, instant answer. If I wanted to know more, I could go to YouTube and look her up. All because I had a problem and I solved it in 2 minutes or less. So this is what answer engine optimization is all about, right? And it's why AEO is no longer optional, because AI is now your new gatekeeper. It's delivering it first. We've seen the declining web traffic. This does not mean we don't want SEO, because you'll still get found by SEO, but we have to layer in AEO. Otherwise, you have this risk of invisibility.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, something to keep in mind is, yes, you have, like we had in the poll, all these questions. So the long form question, you can answer that with short form keywords in there as well. So everything works together.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that because keywords are still important, right? And if you look at this, there were keywords. Excel columns is absolutely a short keyword phrase. And then the longer one is Excel keyword columns back to letters. So still very important. Okay. So content still matters. And AI engines have to get their sources from somewhere. Now, we do know that they make stuff up.
Yes. So double, triple check. If you go back just one, maybe two. Sorry, the screen share on every one of those AI overviews is a link. So it'll provide you a link to their sources. You can click over and verify.
Yes, right here. It shows us
where you want to be.
Exactly. You want to be this person, this link. That's what you're trying to do. Okay. So they still need sources, and in those sources, citations build trust. To Donnell's point, where she's got the one person who was totally anti AI, all of a sudden he's coming and saying, well, AI said, and people absolutely cite, I saw it on Reddit. I saw it in ChatGPT. Copilot told me. Now, if you're on the marketing side, I'm going to say you need to double check your sources. If you're on the sales side, I'm going to say double check your sources, because not everything is accurate. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of companies are finding out the hard way that AI is a great tool, but it is still maybe even more so that trust but verify.
The story of the attorney that cited a case that wasn't real.
The story of Deloitte.
The stories. The stories are out there, and it's a click of a link, and then put your search term in to verify that data to see if it actually is present where they put it. you also can ask it, did you make this up? But still verify. So, interestingly, companies and people are now considering AI to be an authority. So we're back to where we were like with Wikipedia, when people said, oh, if it says it in Wikipedia, it must be, and everybody learned they had to check their sources with Wikipedia. Same thing's true with AI. But you want to be found. So you know this, be careful how you're using it, but you want to be the one that they find. And here, one of the things we're going to show you is using keywords as questions. Okay, so content still matters, and that's what we're talking about today, all content. So what this means for marketing and sales is, in the marketing, you're changing your strategy to encompass AEO. You're changing how you are writing your content. And from a sales enablement perspective, boy, if marketing is figuring out the questions that people are asking, those are the questions that you want your sales team to be able to answer and go deeper on. Because your prospects may have gotten those answers themselves when they were out searching, but now the salespeople know, okay, I have to be able to go deeper on some of those questions. It's fun. Okay, so let's talk about what are the 5 steps to adapt your content. And know that here, we've been talking about this for several months now. And I know it sounds funny that you would say that, oh, is months a long period of time? But in the AI world, it is. And so we've had time to adapt and adjust and try and start to test what's working, what isn't, really explore it. We're sharing with you the 5 steps that we've identified to adapt your content so that you can be found in AI. And I will tell you, yes, we do get found in AI. I have personally received leads where they said, oh yeah, I found you through ChatGPT. That's what we want, just like we want a first page ranking for SEO. Mm-hmm. Okay, so step 1 is writing in natural language questions. So Donnell, you work with clients on their content. Either you're directing our team to write it or you are coaching them. How do you talk about writing in natural language questions?
So a lot of times I encourage the use of transcripts and kind of putting those in and talking to the sales team. What are people actually asking? And furthermore, do an SEO analysis and look for those long tail question keywords.
Yes.
If you don't have one of those, I know a girl.
Yeah. So if you use any of the SEO tools like a SEMrush, SEMrush, you can go in and see what are the questions that people are searching on. You also can, in conversations with your sales team, ask what are the questions that they're being asked. I'm going to tell you that while we've always done that, there's going to become a time in the not too distant future where those may not be the right questions, because part of what I'll show you later is how the funnel is changing for sales, and that people are coming into your pipeline much more knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. For years, we've been told people can go to the web, they can do their research, they come knowing lots. Well, the reality was it was hard to do the research. They didn't want to. It was still easier to talk to a rep. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case anymore. Mm-hmm. Now they're going in there asking ChatGPT. They're getting all their answers. Claude's telling them, this is what you need to do. And then now when they approach the salesperson, they're much further in their pipeline, which means that the questions that reps are hearing are further along. They're not the questions you need for AI. You may want some of them, but you need your marketing focusing on that top to bottom of the funnel, not just bottom of the funnel. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm letting you, or not just top of the funnel either. So I'm letting you know sales is a resource, but you also need to use tools that are going out and they're researching what are questions people are asking? And how are they asking them? David just asked, will the recording be sent to attendees? Yes, we're going to send the recording. Plus at the end, I'm going to give you a link to go to download the presentation. And we've put together a guide for you of all of these changes. And it has, we have follow-up emails that go with it because we couldn't put everything into the guide. So we're going to give you a ton of tools. And then if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is way overwhelming and I need help, we do coaching and we do it for you. So I'll show you all that at the end, but take a deep breath and go, okay, thank you. Okay, so step 1, write in natural language questions. And step 2 is data. Oh my gosh, Donnell, for how long have we harped on data?
Well, let me check the calendar. A long time. We've been hitting on it for a while.
Yes. And, you know, there are some companies that are phenomenal with data, and there are other companies that that's just not their strength. Their strength is in telling the story. Mm-hmm. But AI likes data. It lends credibility to a robot. With a human, they like the data and they can hear everything else surrounding it. But AI wants to see the data because in its mind, it gives you credibility. And that's then going to increase your likelihood that you will be cited, and it establishes your authority.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, it's a good thing to have anyway. Your salespeople need it. Your marketing needs it. And you send it out in your newsletter. You are citing it on social. The data helps you. Okay. Anything you would add about data?
I mean, honestly, I think the biggest thing that I've seen in working this in is if you are going to leverage any AI tools, make sure that your data comes out the other end and you're quoting yourself correctly. Again, that trust but verify when using AI, but also use it as much as possible. And if you're thinking about what data, you need to take a deep dive into your own business and look at what data can you be sharing from your industry that's relevant.
You know, and that's a great example. So we are in the process of hiring a salesperson. And one of the things that we do on the sales side to help companies grow their sales is to help them with the hiring sales process. And I went to the team and I said, oh my gosh, we need to do a case study on ourselves. And so I've got them going back and collecting how many people applied, how many assessments did we do? Of the assessments, how many people moved to a first interview? Of that, how many moved to the second interview? So that we can do a case study showing this is what you can expect today in the hiring process. And we're going to use all the data. And our last Coffee with Kendra on the marketing side was showing 3 different campaigns that you could run. And we showed the actual data of how big was the list when it started and how many opportunities came out at the bottom. Because the data helps people to know, could this potentially work for me or not? So there's so many uses for it, not just AI. Okay. Step 3. Structure it for clarity. Okay, here's where, up till now, everything that we've told you is easier. Here's where it gets a little challenging. And this is where everything that your English teacher comes into play and trying to remember, how am I supposed to write? There's a very logical structure for AI because you're writing to be found by the AI engines, even though we're calling it AEO search. So the first is that you want your content broken down into very logical segments, headings, bullets, numbers, very easy to consume, which also means that it's short segments. In the past, heading, lots of content, maybe a subheading, some more content, maybe another subheading, more content, now a big heading again. Not anymore. Small, bite-sized headings. because AI has to be able to consume that.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's harder to write.
Yeah. I mean, where we used to value longer language, but if you've been keeping up with some of the changes in SEO, it's been condensing and answering questions. This is kind of another step in that progression, another step in the condensing direction, but not scary. It shouldn't be scary to go forward with it.
No, what you want to know is if you are using AI to write content, it likes to be verbose. And ironically, it does not like verbose information as input.
Right.
So if you're using it to write any of your content, you really have to pare it down. So logical segmentation, keep it small, and where you can, yes, use bullets and numbered lists, but it's got to make sense as well. Okay. And then visual integration, if you can put graphics or charts, the Coffee with Kendra that I talked about that we just did that had campaigns, we did 3 campaigns. I wrote an article after that about the 3 campaigns, and we put graphs in showing the numbers. And so now the article is broken up by a visual image, and they don't all have to be graphs, right? And Donnell, is this where you might use a video as well?
If you've got video content, absolutely. Use video, use not stock photos if you can find those. You know, it's interesting that the more into AI we go, the less stock photos and just kind of fillers are going to fly.
Yeah.
So it is really kind of ironic that the more robot intervention we get, the more personal it wants things.
Exactly. The less robotic it wants it.
Right.
Well, and that's true on social for all of you. Same thing is happening on social. It really doesn't want to see those pictures. Ironically, it wants to see the selfies and all the other things. So another time, we'll do a Coffee with Kendra around creating videos with AI, because that's a cool topic. Okay, so visual integration, and then your AI-friendly formatting, making it easy to read. There is a very specific way that in your heading, you are answering its questions. Your first sentence should be the answer to the question. And that's why I said it's remembering how your English teacher back in elementary school taught you to write a paragraph. That first paragraph is the topic, and it's simple, and it's under 20 to 25 words. That's how specific it is right now. So keep it short, because AI can consume that. Okay. That's why I said it's cool, but it can be hard, because everybody says short is harder. Okay. Oh, the other thing I want to share about your sections is each paragraph should be no more than 2 to 3 sentences, and single sentences are very nice because, again, it's almost like a bulleted list, even though it's not. It's easy for AI to consume. So keep it short, and I'm going to show you an example in a minute. All right. Step 4 is evolve your keyword strategy for intent. So notice we are not saying do away with your keywords. We still need them.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right? So our SEO keywords are good. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say it is another step in that progression. So adding another layer on. Yeah.
So we still want our traditional keywords, but we want to go further. And here's where we want to model prospect queries as best you can. So actively listening and analyzing how decision makers are phrasing their questions to model Again, this is asking your salespeople what they're hearing, in addition to looking and seeing what is a tool like SEMrush, or you might use Ahrefs, Ahrefs. Those are SEO tools. If you use those, if you don't, and you work with a company like us, we use them, and we use them with our clients. It will give questions to consider. Now, be aware, AI is going to give you a whole lot of information. You've got to know, is what they're giving me what I need or not? So it could give you 20 questions, but don't assume that means you should write 20 articles about those 20 questions. You have to apply your knowledge of your target market to say, yep, this is what I should write about, or no, I shouldn't.
Another thing that I think is good for looking for those real queries are, if you have DuckDuckGo as a browser, you can type in an exclamation point, and they call it a bang, and then bang Reddit. So it's only searching through Reddit, and look up your industry and see what posts come up from just Reddit specifically for your industry, and start there. Go to the comments, kind of get involved in target markets and what they're actually looking for and thinking.
I love that recommendation, because now we're looking in another place, not just relying on those tools. And by the way, a SEMrush and an Ahrefs, they're pulling from those places. So you're going to the source by looking at a Reddit. Okay. So intent is that new success metric. So the keywords are still relevant, but it's now looking for what's the intent behind it. And your content should not just be for the purpose of being found on AI. You should be using it on your blog post, in your socials. If you're doing things out in Reddit, you should be using it in all those places. And we've said that right along anyway. Use it to create videos. Use videos as a basis. One thing, so much to share. Another thing I wanted to share with you around intent is what AI returns today is based on how you search. So where Google, when you would put in a keyword phrase, would return the same thing pretty much, but based on your location. Now AI is so much more sophisticated. It is looking at what else are you searching for? And it's going to return information based on how you are searching. And I was talking about this last week, and the example that I used was political. If you are, left-wing, the answers it's going to return are going to be more left-wing related. If you are right-wing and it knows it, and you've had searches related to it, it's going to return them related to your left-wing, making sure I said my sides correctly. And so what I might get as a return could be completely different than what Donnell gets or another person gets, because of how I've been searching within AI. So even where it says it can't read between threads, it's remembered things.
Absolutely.
It's going to return that way.
In socials, the algorithms are literally just AI, and what we call like getting recommended a random video that it's like, I don't know why I like this, but I do, is I have built my For You page brick by brick. Every like, every swipe, every time you linger on a little bit of content, it's feeding into the algorithms and showing you more of what you like.
Yes, exactly. And so you want to be aware of that. And because of it, it says when you're creating content, then you may want a variety of content. And an example that I had heard was, if you're writing about plants, you may write about what's the best plant for Denver, Colorado, in a large house. What's the best plant for an apartment? What's the best plant for dark areas? What's the best plant if I kill plants?
Yeah.
because it'll appeal to all different people. So be thinking more broadly about your content. Okay. Now, the fifth step is embedding those authority signals that we've talked about. So prioritizing having really trustworthy data. Now, we're going to tell you that you should be doing links back to other sources. So I quoted to you this morning the Forbes article that said 60% of content is not, or of searches are not resulting in a click. Mm-hmm. That can go in an article with a link back to where that stat can be found. That adds authority to your content. Okay. So using those other links can help you. And I would say put a couple in your article right now. And then creating this interconnected web, boy, you should be doing this for SEO anyway.
Oh, yeah.
All the signals back to other places in your content, and especially to your services. So where before we were going to other blogs, you could learn more. Now you also want to go to your services because it shows credibility that you do the types of things that you are writing about. Okay, so that's very important. And this is not one or two links throughout your article, because your articles now should be 12 to 1,500 words, which is long. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you want to showcase your unique expertise by talking from your unique perspective. Okay. So those are our 5 steps. By the way, we have a whole lot more in our slides. And our commitment is to end at 1:15. So if you download the slides, you'll get all the other stuff too. What I want to do now is I'm going to stop sharing, and I want to show you an article from our website that you can go look at as an example. Okay. And this is in our blog. And I think Bill is going to put the link in chat for you as well. Okay. So this is the article that I wrote about the Coffee with Kendra around the 3 different campaigns that you can use for cold lists. And I wrote this using all the SEO best practices that we have just shared with you. So this is a great one. Bookmark it, go back and look at it. And you're going to see more and more articles coming out in our blog. The other thing you're going to notice, remember, we're a HubSpot Gold partner. You're going to start to see HubSpot articles going in there because that increases our authority. Now, not everybody reads HubSpot, so not every article will be, but you'll see a significant increase in those because it will help us be recognized as an authority and be found in more AI searches. So watch what we're doing and model it as it fits for you. If you're a client, you're going to see us implementing these for you anyway, and we've already been talking with you about it. So notice the title answers a question. How do I turn cold lists into leads? Okay. And it's got keyword phrases, right? 3 campaigns that were cold lists is another one. So it's got some keywords in there. And immediately we're telling them so that AI can read it really fast. Here are what are the key takeaways for this article. So we've got a list of the key takeaways. And now here's a short section. What are the cold lists? Why are cold lists a challenge for sales teams? Immediately at the beginning, short sentence answering it. Okay. And notice this is a 2-word paragraph. And now we're listing 3 challenges. AI can return just the 3, or it can give the supporting information. And then, like the video that I showed you from my search this morning, we've mentioned our name so that we can be linked to it. Okay. So you can look at each section and you'll see they're all very short. Here's an image. right away. And in this one, we didn't have data because of the type of campaign that it is, but we showed here's how the campaign looks. And we've given an image of what a campaign is. And then we talk about the pros and cons, all very easily read, as well as SEO related. So here's campaign 2. I'm not going to tell you all the content. Here's another image that goes with it. We've got 2 different ones. Here's a video that's in the middle that takes them to either the Coffee with Kendra or an abbreviation of that. Okay, now I'm going to go all the way down to the end of the article. See how it goes on and on? We added frequently asked questions because questions are part of AEO. And short answers, and notice in every one of them, we're using our name. So that if AEO answers it, it can see our name. And then here's a short bio about me. So this is a good article for you to look at to show you how do you structure for AEO. Donnell.
Yes.
As you are writing AEO articles, what are some tips or suggestions that you have for people?
I think keeping the overall point in mind, because thinking about 1,200 words, you can get lost. So keeping your points in mind. What is this article about? And leverage data. And again, if you have questions that you can use that actual people have really asked and you've heard multiple times, leverage those. It's yes, AEO, but also at the same time, getting more in touch with who you're marketing to, who you're trying to sell to.
I would agree. And when I think about some of how AEO has changed what people are looking for, people are getting the answers to all of their top of funnel information from AI, which means we still want to be providing that top of funnel information, but we have to focus on moving them further down the funnel. So here, I want to show, let me go back over here. I do not have the right one. I wanted to show you a picture of the funnel so all of you can see how that has shifted. So just give me a minute while I click around here. It's a lot of clicking.
It is a lot of clicking.
Okay, let's see if I got the right one. Yay! Success! You can't worry about any of that.
On the first try, too.
So here's your funnel with AEO applied to it. So at the top of funnel, it's outreach via LinkedIn and email that people are going to be doing. And you want to be using information that you've got from AEO there at that top piece because they're out looking, they're out doing searches. Middle of the funnel, in your discovery meeting and your AI prompts, you're using the AEO information to give better insight to prepare for the discovery meetings. Okay. Here, it's going to help you with what your outreach should be. And here, it's going to help with what am I going to talk about in that meeting if I haven't already had an initial conversation. I don't have a lot of data about the person I'm going to talk to. And then in the later funnel, you've now got all your objections, your FAQs, and your testimonials. These can all be input for the marketing side, and the marketing content can be input back to the sales side. So marketing and sales alignment is critical.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. You have these slides. I'm not going to go through them because we're at close to our time, but here's how you can apply AEO across the sales cycle. Here are your 3 authority signals as well. The key is for you to know that you have to shift your definition of search success. It used to be how many website traffic or how much website traffic do we have? How many visitors do we have? Now, AEO, people who find you through AI and through AEO are much more qualified because of the amount of search that they've done than someone who just jumps and fills out a form on your website and doesn't even remember you. When we teach cold calling, we teach reps that you may get an MQL and they're going to be lukewarm, but they're not necessarily going to remember you because they could have gone and filled out 10 other forms or 5 other forms. But if they've come through AI, you're probably the only one they served up or one of only a few. So
yeah,
change your definition of success.
that's a great point.
And blending SEO and AEO. Tips for how to do that from your perspective, Donnell?
Again, I think, when any new thing comes in, it's one bite at a time. So making if you're doing everything yourself, making a shift and sticking with it, and just thinking of this as another step in your SEO process. So it's really broadening and amplifying what you're already doing in SEO and really
bring them together.
Mm-hmm.
They work hand in hand now. You need both. Okay. So I promised that we had the slides. Here's a QR code or a link, and Bill will put the link in chat. We will also send the recording out within the next 24 hours, so you will have that. I want you, please go download the AEO roadmap. This is free. This is a resource we have put together that shares what we've talked about. And then from that, you're going to get a series of emails with video that tell you here's how to make changes. Here are the types of things that you should be doing. So we've specifically set it up to guide you. And then if you are feeling like, oh my gosh, yes, I get it, I understand, but I would like some guidance, we can do coaching, where Donnell can coach you through how you do this and review your content, guide you, or one of our other marketing managers would work with you. Or if you truly just don't want to do it yourself, we will do it for you. And we can go back in your website and update your content for AEO. We can help you go forward or take you forward with your content as well. All of this is on that landing page. You do not have to sign up for an appointment to download it. Download what you need. The slides are there as well. So you can access all the slides that I just showed you. And if you're thinking you would like assistance or you would like to do a planning meeting, schedule a 30-minute meeting. It'll be with me, and we will look at where you are today with your content. We're going to go and do a quick search to see how is your content performing, what's the highest performing content, so we can help you identify what you should prioritize and then talk about how we could help you with that. So go sign up for a 30-minute AEO planning meeting if that would be of value to you. So lots that we've shared today. Okay. Then our next Coffee with Kendra, we're going to talk about how do you build digital trust, which is an extension. If you think about AEO, we're going to be found in an AI engine. How is it that we can build digital trust? And why is digital trust the number one priority in the AI era? Okay, that's what our next Coffee with Kendra is going to be about. It is November 19th. And I would add, if you are a HubSpot user, we have a special Coffee with Kendra in 2 weeks on the 29th, where we're going to show 6 new AI features in HubSpot that we feel all of our clients and HubSpot users in our community really should know about. So we'll be doing that in 2 weeks, and we'll be sending invitations. What was that?
I said, that's exciting.
It is really exciting.
A bonus.
Yeah. And so if you would like to be invited to that and you're not a client, just shoot me a quick email or put in chat, and I'll make sure that you get an invitation to that one. But make sure you go sign up for the Digital Trust Coffee with Kendra, because this is really important. And let me go to, here's contact information for you if you don't have it.